After 3 away games, the champions back at home tonight and looking to extend their 61-game unbeaten run in the Premier League. They can go level with the leaders if they beat struggling Sheffield United at Anfield at 8 o'clock. Very good evening to you. Welcome along to the Matchday Live preview in association with Standard Chartered. Jason McAteer is here, springing his step because someone said you look like James Bond when you walked into the office tonight. Take that, don't you?
Yeah, I didn't disagree, did I? I've got the owl thing going on there.
You spent more time actually ironing that than doing any sort of preparation for the game ahead.
Well, they are looking for a new Bond, aren't they?
They are, and it could be you. And if you leave this job, we've got your replacement lined up because Phil Thompson joins us as well this evening live on Zoom, all the way from the west wing of Thompson Towers. Evening to you, Tomo.
That's a look.
That's the best he's ever sounded.
James who? James who? James Bond?
You're not having it now?
Rest.
I think he looks very smart. Shall we start with a quiz, chaps? Tomo, this is certainly your era. Jason, probably you might know the answer to this. Liverpool's first ever Premier League win came over Sheffield United, August 1992. 2-0 it finished. Name me the goal scorers, the Liverpool goal scorers, if you will.
1992.
92. I'm gonna throw random Don Hutchinson.
Wrong.
Wow.
No, I'm going to go 92.
What
Ronnie
about Wally?
Whelan, maybe? Mark Wright?
No.
Wally, Mark Walters.
Correct. That's
yes,
one of them. That's one of them.
1-0. Wow. That's me, 1 up.
Other one?
Rushy.
It's a good chance, Rushy, wouldn't it?
It's not. I'll put you out your misery. It was Paul Stewart.
Wow,
Paul
Stewie.
Stewart and Mark Walters, the goal scorers that day. Let's throw it forward to 2020 then, Jason. Both clubs, it'd be fair to say, are still looking to hit the heights they did from their own perspectives last season.
You say both clubs. I think every club across Europe, is just struggling to come to terms still with what is going on. I don't think anyone's acclimatised to the new normal. We're seeing so many inconsistent results, lots of big score lines coming in, teams winning away from home, teams not being able to hold on to leads, teams not winning at home. It's difficult. Well, we all know what the problem is. It's the fans. It's a leveller for teams. And I think that's what it is. But as far as Sheffield United and Liverpool, you're right. Both teams have struggled in certain areas. Sheffield United, although they didn't start well last season when there was fans in the ground, they haven't started well this season defensively and scoring goals. Liverpool, it's been a stuttering start, but you can understand why. Couple of weeks to get pre-season under the belt to go again. I just think everybody's struggling to acclimatise to what's going on, to be honest.
Let's have a little look at Sheffield United then, Tom, and Chris Wilder in the lead-up to the game saying that a lot of pundits have blandly been saying his team have been found out. And they've not won in the last 8 Premier League matches, so have they been found out?
No, not really. There's a fine line, isn't there, with Sheffield United? You're looking at, they rely upon a good defence and they try and nick goals as they go along. They're the 4th best defence, conceding 39 goals last year. That tells you something. So even this season, if you have a look, most of the games, they stay in the game. It's just that the results has flipped the other side. As Jason just alluded to, it's a crazy season. I think Sheffield United will be all right. They've not relied on a lot of goals. They've only scored 2. So that said, you go, they've got problems, but they've only conceded 7. We've conceded 13. So as you can see, the margins and the flip between picking up a few points, I do think Sheffield United will be all right, but it's a crazy time. Aston Villa beat us 7-2. And last night, what happened? Villa got beat at home, 3-0 by Leeds United. Can't get much crazier than that.
Tomo said it there, they have only scored 2 goals in their 5 Premier League games so far. Is Ryan Brewster the answer?
Well, like Tomo said, defensively last season, they were solid enough, 4th best defensive record, as Tomo mentioned. It was something to build on. Obviously, goals was the problem. They only scored 39 goals as well as they only conceded 39. So, that had to be addressed. Ryan Brewster, I think, is a fantastic talent. I don't think he was going to get his opportunity at Liverpool. He's been away the last couple of pre-seasons, which I've seen it, and he's done okay. When the opposition was stepped up in pre-season, the likes of Sporting Lisbon, and I found he did struggle when the opposition was slightly better. And I think Jurgen Klopp's just looked at him and just thought, I'm going to let this kid go. He's got the buyback option as well. He's got good money for him, and it's a good move. The problem I think is Sheffield United don't create a lot of chances. He went on loan to Swansea, scored 11 in 22. They created a lot of chances that season, Swansea. They don't create a lot of chances, Sheffield United. If you think Liverpool in the 5 games already this season have created 18 big chances, Sheffield United have only created 4. So is he going to get opportunities to score goals? That's the problem. If he does, and he is clinical, he will score, but he's got to get the opportunities.
And the other question would be, Tomo, then at the other end of the pitch, when you talk about fine margins and those swings and those games that they won 1-0, they won 7 of them last season. If you lose someone like Dean Henderson, who went back to Manchester United, that can be very significant as well.
Yeah, and it was a toss-up for me. The new goalkeeper, Ramsdale, I think it is, which they got from Bournemouth. I don't think he's anywhere near Henderson. I really don't. I thought he was great. And no one had spoke to Chris Wilder. He said he's got an edge on him as Henderson. He's got a real edge, which you've got to keep down because he's just so confident. And if he's like that, he will give that to his fellow defenders. So I think they're still learning at the moment with the new goalkeeper. And as I said, I think that will get better. As you said, what was it, 7 1-0s?
7 1-0s, yeah.
And as we're seeing, maybe they flip the other side and you start losing those games. So you've got to make sure you're on the right side of tight games. And they are, as we've seen, they've got a couple of goals in the last couple of games, and it's been last 5 minutes or so. That's not good enough. It means that they're trying to they're solid enough, but they only come out of the shell in the last 15 minutes. Oh, let's have a go. We might as well lose 2-0 as lose 1-0. I think there is still a few things to address with there, but I do think they'll be all right. Don't forget, Sheffield United is my second team. I was a Blade at one point. So it's my 2 teams tonight.
The Phil Thompson derby, as it's known by absolutely no one. Anyway, let's get to Anfield then. Sheffield United here for the second time in 2020. There for us tonight is Pete McDowell.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to Anfield. Absolutely teeming down here, so maybe you are in the better place tonight, but this is the first of 3 on the bounce for Liverpool. Midtjylland to come next week, of course, and then it's West Ham next Saturday. So where home comforts are concerned, and I know it annoys Jurgen Klopp from time to time that we go on about this brilliant record at Anfield, but they've won both of the home games here this season, won 27 of the last 28. So when you think about Virgil being missing, when you think about that really gritty win that they had midweek as well in Amsterdam, against a team that are really struggling for goals, it could be just what the doctor ordered this opposition if football was played on paper tonight. Where his injuries are concerned, he obviously spoke to the press yesterday prior to them training, but he is hopeful that Thiago and also Joel Matip will be available in that squad tonight. But with all the games that he has coming up, 7 in the next 22 days, he's never been all that keen on a risk, and he will be probably erring on the side of caution tonight. So could there be a slight headache where Sadio Mane is concerned as well, icing his knee in Amsterdam as he did last week. Alisson probably 7 to 10 days ahead of schedule. You wouldn't expect that he would be in this squad tonight, but stranger things have happened where that is concerned as well. And of course they have this Ryan Brewster quandary hanging over them as well. He knows the back 4 very well, the back 5 in fact. Could he get his first start for Sheffield United here in the Premier League tonight as well? Where defensively they are concerned, clean sheet was a big thing for them in Amsterdam the other night, but it needs improving and quickly. They've conceded 25 since the restart. Only Crystal Palace have a worse record than that. We'll get that team news confirmed for you absolutely at 7 tonight on LFC TV and LFC TV Go.
Pete, thank you very much indeed. Let's hear from the 2 managers then. Of course, Jurgen Klopp looking to make it 2 wins in a week. They won in Amsterdam on Wednesday night. So will tonight's game be anything similar to that victory over Ajax?
Ajax and Sheffield United is the way they play is completely different, and Sheffield United deserves a lot of attention for what they do because they are really good in that. And even when the results were so far not exactly how they wished for, but the performances were not that bad. I'm pretty sure Chris Wilder knows that, and so. They will build on that, and that makes it for us tricky. And they had a full week to prepare the game, and with all the strength they have in set pieces anyway, they had time for working on that as well. So it will be a tough one for us, and like it always was against Sheffield, obviously, and that's why we are completely focused on this game. I'm pretty sure Chris is calm enough to know all the good things they did are still good, and they still just have to keep them going, and that's what they will try, and that makes it really a very intense game. It's Sheffield, yeah. So the way they play is, if you want to win the game, you have to be intense yourself.
Us losing Jack O'Connell and John Flake and Mousset are huge blows for us. I would say bigger blows to us than what Virgil van Dijk is to Liverpool, really, in my opinion, for us as we look as a football club. So we all have to go through this period. We all have to go through these situations. But there's still some world-class players there. And even though they might have lost a world-class player for a lengthy period of time, they've got some really good players that can fit into that. An academy that obviously produces players all the time. And they've got those three at the top of the pitch that can hurt anybody on the day. So we understand we've got to play, somewhere near our absolute maximum and best to give ourselves any opportunity of getting a result. But we'll go there and we'll see what we can do.
Of course, Liverpool kept 2 clean sheets against Sheffield United in the 2 Premier League games last season. A clean sheet on Wednesday night as well. We have someone with us who knows all about defending in that red shirt. Jason McAteer is here too. But what impressed you most about the way Liverpool defended on Wednesday night, Tomo?
I thought it was great. I'm watching the game on the television, not on BT, and they were sort of enthusing about how well Ajax did, and they had these chances. You would expect that. But I think everybody stepped up. Adrian, if he was needed, he stepped up and made a good block. Was it offside? Wasn't it offside? But he still made the save. They got in a couple of times. Fabinho does really well. They were alive. And I think that is where the response was. The ball goes over your head, you respond. And I think the boys done really well. It was a game I felt we could have won quite easily. And I was looking at Ajax and I thought, at home, no real worries about this because we're superior than them. If our final ball had been better in that game, I think we'd have won quite easily. So I was quite pleased. I thought Fabinho was truly magnificent again. I think he accepts that responsibility. He knows when he goes in there. The same against Chelsea. I think he's somebody that we're beginning to rely upon. And I think Joe is similar. He has to look at it. Virgil is no longer playing. I need to step up now. I've not got my cushion to just lean on.
What about the role that Fabinho has played now, Jason? And there was a discussion on the radio actually about whether it's easier for a player to go from being a natural midfielder into defence or vice versa. You played in both positions. Would you say it'd be easier to go backwards in the pitch or forwards? Backwards.
I think it's easier to go backwards. I mean, Tom will tell you because he played it, but you've got the whole game in front of you. You know, you can organise, you get a bit more time. I think with Fabinho, I think what you are giving up is height from set pieces. You are giving up that when he's not in the team. Obviously, with Virgil being in there, who'd be a bigger centre half. But he's the player who reads the game. I think he would organise as well. I don't think that comes easy to Joe Gomez. So I think what Jurgen Klopp's got to decide does he bring Joe Matip in and make him and Gomez the partnership, or does he make Fabinho and Matip the partnership, or does he keep it as it is? I'm not so sure what he's going to do because he's like I said, he's given up height, but then he gains organisation, and from Fabinho it's a difficult one for him. It is a difficult one. I think going backwards is easier than going wide or going forward.
The other point you would make, Tomo, about Fabinho, and we saw it with Manchester City last season in the absence of Aymeric Laporte, is that if you take Fernandinho out of midfield, you lose so much from him playing in his natural position.
Yeah, you got covered. I'm listening to you guys. I was quite similar when I was a holding midfield player when I first started out, my first sort of season and a half. And you have that way of shielding the back four. You understand that position. So it is quite easy to go and step in as a centre-back. And you've got two things then, because you're able, as a midfield player, for the way Liverpool play, to build up from the back. But you're quite right. What you do miss Fabinho is one of the few who is a really good tackler in there. But I think him going into the back line, if Joel Matip is fit, he's a good centre-half and good in the air, and you've got Fabinho. Once you take Fabinho out and you put him in there, you are missing something. And as we've seen just of late, we look quite vulnerable at set plays, particularly corner kicks. And I think if we could have Joel and Fabinho, I think that will help us tonight, because you'll see it tonight. Any set plays, Sheffield United will try and take advantage of it and ram it home. And we've got to be ready and better prepared to deal with those cross balls.
Final thought then, Jason, on the sort of game we might see tonight. And Aston Villa and Everton both took it to Liverpool. Do you think Sheffield United will be a lot more pragmatic this evening?
Yeah, I think that's the way Chris Wilder plays. He plays that obviously 3-5-2, doesn't he? I think Brewster might get his start. They don't score a lot of goals. I think they'll be banking on maybe playing on the break, and hopefully he's that difference between putting that 3 or 4 chances that they'll get in a game away rather than not, and then losing.
All right, Jason, Tomo, thank you very much indeed. For now, let's just have a look at what's happening in the Premier League today. Last night, Leeds United won at Aston Villa by 3-0, ending their 100% start to the season. Lunchtime kickoff saw the points shared at the London Stadium. West Ham went in front through a fantastic goal from Mikel Antonio, but substitute Phil Foden earned a point for Manchester City. Already looking bleak for Fulham, isn't it? Another game passes by with no points after goals in either half from Yaro Riedewald and Wilfried Zaha. They got a late goal back, did Fulham, but not enough to earn any points. And it's half-time at Old Trafford. It is level between Manchester United and Chelsea. Table looks like this, then Everton still top at the moment, but Liverpool can move level on points with them and above Aston Villa and Leeds if they can take maximum points tonight. At the bottom, as we said, Fulham struggling already, 6 games, just the 1 point on the board, a point apiece also for Sheffield United and Burnley, who don't play till Monday, with West Brom just above that bottom 3. But of course, we are focusing on Anfield. It's not a very nice night on Merseyside. The rain is falling, but what will the scoreline be come about 10 o'clock tonight? Will Liverpool get some goals? We will find out. We'll bring you team news and interviews as well. LFC TV and LFC TV Go from 7 o'clock tonight with our Matchday Live programme. We'll see you a bit later on. Bye for now.